Podtacular episode 409. I need an anniversary for February 13th, 2014. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I'm your host, Duststorm.
And I'm your other host, Brent Gamer.
And this week, we reveal some exciting news that just got released hours ago as of when we're recording this, and is going to be something that's going to totally flip your mind. It is crazy news, and it's fantastic news. You know what that news is, Brent?
Yes, I do, but tell me, Dustin.
Well, as it so happens, Steve Downes, the voice of Master Chief, has confirmed that Halo 2 Anniversary will be dropping this year. It is the title that will be hitting the Xbox One platform later, rumored to be in November, and Halo 5 is scheduled to be released next year. So all the rumors about Halo 2 Anniversary, well, we can pretty much confirm that they're there. There's still no official announcement yet that there is a Halo 2 Anniversary from Microsoft standpoints or Xbox standpoints or 343 Industries. But the fact that we have an article that from an interview with Steve Downes saying that Halo 2 Anniversary is going to be out this year, it's pretty much set in stone that we're going to see Halo 2 Anniversary come out. So everyone should be screaming, shouting, praising whatever you praise, or yeah. It's good news across the board for Halo in general. And people are going to blow up about this, especially when more news about this comes out. So
their minds are going to explode when they learn this news, Dustin.
My mind has already exploded.
Imagine taking a brain and putting it in a microwave for like 3 minutes. That's what's going to happen when you learn that Halo 2 Anniversary is really coming. It's really coming out because Steve Downes said so.
It's coming out. We've said it. We've heard it straight from Master Chief's mouth that Halo 2 Anniversary will be dropping this year. So, lots of feelings across the internet. A lot of them are very positive about having Halo 2 Anniversary. A lot of negative sides as well. People voicing their opinion on whether or not Halo 2 Anniversary is a good idea. And we've talked about it a little bit in the past couple of shows. And I think it's a good talking point to kind of cover for this week's show. Kind of a good content filler. But as far as just Halo announcements go, this one's huge, guys. I don't know if what your guys' opinions are, and we'll definitely discuss it throughout the podcast, but if you're a big Halo fan, this of course is huge news, and it's going to be loved by everybody, especially those big core Halo fans that really were into Halo 2 back then. So let's kind of dig into some of the possibilities that we can have with Halo 2 Anniversary and what we want. Lots of the rumors coming out about details behind what's going to be coming with Halo 2 Anniversary when it drops and a few other things, but there hasn't really been any leaks on how Halo 2 is going to be delivered. So we know with Halo CE Anniversary, we have the multiplayer get shipped in a Reach port over. So all of the 7 multiplayer maps that were remade from Halo 1 were actually done in the Halo Reach engine, and you had the Halo Reach engine to play them in. Now, a lot of people want the multiplayer experience to pretty much be untouched in the way of that it's not ported over to the Halo 4 engine, since it's coming out before Halo 5, obviously. And one of the things to that is there's the game mechanics between the Halo 2 multiplayer engine and the Halo 4 multiplayer engine are vastly different. I mean, Brent, you can attest to it because you were there during the Halo 2 days of Podtacular and I was not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a completely different game experience. If you play Halo 2 right now, I mean, after playing Halo 4 for like however long you've been playing it, it is a completely different experience. You wouldn't recognize it as Halo except for maybe like the BR. That's about it. Everything else in Halo 2
even the BR is pretty significantly different from Halo 2 to Halo 4.
Oh yeah, the BR in
even
Halo 2
3.
is a beast. I mean, I love the Halo 2 BR. That is my favorite weapon. But yeah, just Halo 2 was a completely different experience than what you get in Halo 4. So if you're like, 14 or 15 years old and you weren't around for Halo 2, you're really going to enjoy Halo 2, I think. if they bring it out in the Anniversary Edition. I think you're going to enjoy the slower pace gameplay. You actually have to think for a second instead of just working off of twitch tactics. I've noticed that mainly in Halo 4 is that you have to really be twitch. And for somebody who's been playing Halo as long as I have, that's all right. But, you know, going back to Halo 2 or even Halo 3 when it was much, much slower, you can think better. You can make tactics. You can make strategies while you're playing that will advance, you know, your team towards the objective. Or even a Team Slayer match, you can do better than you can in Halo 4. It's just completely different. Totally different game.
Yeah, vastly different from what we've had in Halo 4, and it's going to be, for those that hopefully played Halo 2 back in the day, hopefully it's going to bring back that sense of nostalgia. If they do it in the way that they're going to do a retouch on the graphics, but not a retouch on the engine. And of course, there's some things that probably need to be updated, so if they're bringing Halo 2 back for the whole multiplayer scene, they're obviously going to be recoding the Xbox Live integration to support the Xbox One Live service, and probably a few other little tweaks. But I think what everyone wants to see out of Halo 2 in terms of multiplayer is a straight port, or as much of a straight port as possible, of the game engine. Probably update some of the net code to where it's not as laggy anymore because of how massive the Xbox Live network has gotten. So probably a few network tweaks and a few little patches up here and there, but for the majority of the multiplayer experience, don't touch the game mechanics, don't touch the map layout, just do a reskin and maybe some touch-ups on geometry, rework some of the Xbox Live integration, and leave the multiplayer experience alone. We see a lot of people from Halo 4 go back to Halo 3. The Halo 3 population has definitely risen since the Games for Gold offer for downloading Halo 3 for free was around. So we've seen a huge exodus over there, and people really getting involved with the Halo 3 scene, trying to express their opinions that they really like the classical or older style of Halo than the newer thing that we've seen with Halo 4 and what 343 has produced so far.
Yeah, I'm just ready for some Halo 2 action. I'm ready to get back to that, you know. It's been too long. It's been an entire decade since Halo 2 was released, and I'm ready to get back to that kind of strategic style of gameplay as opposed to the more twitchy, you know, speed-based gameplay of Halo 4.
Yeah.
And I mean, canonically, it makes sense. You know, canonically, the Spartans would get faster over time. And Halo 4 was the first game that actually had a story behind why these Spartans are fighting each other. You know, they're in the war game simulation, whatever, but Halo 2 is a much slower game. That I'm just warning people out there, if you started with Halo 3 or even Halo Reach or Halo 4, if you started with those games, Halo 2 is a much slower game. So don't expect, you know, some kind of fast-paced gameplay like you're getting out of Halo 4. It doesn't exist. It's a more strategic game, but that's why I like it. That's why most people enjoyed Halo 2 back in the day. I mean, for a while, Halo 2 was basically the only game people would play on Xbox Live.
It was, which is one of the reasons why Podtacular thrived back in the day, and we had 6 different recreational clans.
Yeah. So, but hopefully they bring back multiplayer, and it's not just like a shifting of the Halo 4 multiplayer into Halo 2 for some reason. I hope that they actually bring the mechanics from Halo 2 multiplayer into Halo 2 Anniversary.
They need to, and that's what everyone wants to see. And if they want that game to be successful, they need to do it that way. It needs to be kind of a throwback to the players on what they want, how they feel that classical Halo is. Show that they understand that people really want that classical feel. And if they do that, I think that's a good representation that 343 has in their minds, that for Halo 5, they really need to look at the core aspects of Halo and what people have liked over the years since Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3, when Bungie was at the core of making those titles. And if we see that, I think people will be very happy. Of course, campaign's going to come along with that as well. That's most likely just going to be a graphical update similar to how we saw with Halo CE Anniversary's campaign. Probably throw in some extra stuff in there. I bet they're going to leave the skulls in there, and probably a good portion of the Easter eggs that were in there. Maybe throw in a few extra ones. Maybe do something like the terminals that they did for Halo CE Anniversary. I could see them doing that as well, because Halo 2 has a lot of backstory into the franchise and the universe of Halo. It's kind of considered one of the longer games, and is not too high up on a lot of people's campaign list. But if you take the time to actually go through what's discussed and what's revealed in the Halo 2 campaign, there's a lot of backstory that goes in there, especially when you get the chance to play as the Arbiter and see the Covenant side of the story versus just the UNSC human side.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time that we really actually understood kind of Covenant hierarchy structure within that universe, and actually understood kind of their motivation for wanting to kill humans.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, the addition of the Arbiter to that story made Halo 2's campaign probably my favorite campaign of all time. And I mean, I enjoyed Halo 3's campaign. I enjoyed Halo 4's. I enjoyed even Reach's. I mean, that was a really good campaign. ODST, that was a great campaign. But as far as understanding both sides of the war, Halo 2 was the best at kind of conveying what it was like for both sides during that point in the war. And that was a very pivotal point in the Human Covenant War.
Definitely. And we get to see how that was really the first glance that we saw. And we later see throughout some of the books that how that story evolves over time and how we really got that start with the war through Contact Harvest and Fall of Reach and a few of the other books as well. But from a game's perspective, Halo 2 was really the first one that broadened the horizon of what this universe is actually about. What's the bigger picture? Because for the first game, it was mostly, okay, you're the super soldier, you're fighting aliens, and there's this other mysterious alien thing, which was, it had a lot of people kind of wondering what was going on. And for those that were into the books and all the additional fiction, you had a general sense of what was going on. But it wasn't until Halo 2 from a game's perspective where we really start to dig into how the Covenant structure was influencing the decisions that were made from the Covenant side, how big of an importance the Forerunners were and their belief structure, and what this big former powerful race was about, and how humanity kind of fits in with that line as well. So from a campaign perspective, this is actually a very pivotal campaign for the Halo franchise. And it's going to be good to kind of go back and play that with updated textures and things. And I have it for the PC, so I kind of already have the pseudo HD experience, although the textures aren't like that great, but you still get it in a HD quality format. But doing the whole reskin for the campaign, and if they just do that for the multiplayer, I'm going to buy it regardless. Because I think it's a good game. It's going to be nice to actually go back and play that and replay those maps on Xbox Live again.
Yeah, the big question right now is whether or not they make Halo 2 Anniversaries or multiplayer a separate entity, or if they just make a whole bunch of maps for Halo 4 based on Halo 2's maps that they kind of integrate into that.
Exactly.
It's a huge difference. And personally, I want to play Halo 2 the way it was made back when it was made. I mean, that's the point of an anniversary, right? To commemorate the game, 10 years from now. And the best way to do that is to bring back gameplay from Halo 2 when it was back then, I mean, that kind of multiplayer was extremely popular. And it's way different than Halo 4's multiplayer.
Vastly different.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's way, way different. Much more balanced in that you can't really choose what you get when you load it out. You just get BR and a pistol. That's about it.
Yeah, everyone starts with the exact same thing. You have access to the exact same weapons and vehicles. And if you think about it, it's a more balanced experience than Halo 4. And even in Halo Reach in some respects. A lot of the things that people want to see back in Halo is that balance, where you start off with all the same stuff and take things like the plasma pistol and the bolt shot out of a loadout option and bring that competitive balance, that steeper learning curve to Halo that fosters a more competitive experience, and in turn, it makes it more fun. A lot of people don't associate competitive with fun, but when you boil down to the base of the game from the past experience from Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3, that competitive drive is what kept people coming back to the game and trying to get their ranks up, get their skills better, and when you won, you actually felt really good. When you lost, most of the time is because you knew you weren't doing well. With Halo 4, it's turned more into this thing of if you lose, then it's because the other team started out with the plasma pistol, which drained out vehicles that should be more powerful against infantry. You have the bolt shot in your back pocket, which is which is basically a power weapon that you can spawn with. The whole ordnance drop, where you can get heavy weapons such as rocket launchers, lasers, just on a whim. And for other people, you would just get something that's wimpy like a needler or a pulse grenade. And it's that balance and that quote-unquote fairness that needs to be brought back into the multiplayer system for Halo.
Oh, yeah.
That's why a lot of people are going back to Halo 3. Is because it exists there, and it doesn't exist in Halo 4.
This is an opportunity to take out the weapon glitches from Halo 2. That kind of ruin the experience for a lot of people. Yes, BXR,
and the quad
double shotting. Yeah, just all of those different weapon glitches. You can take them out right now. You can stop that. And you can make the Halo 2 experience even more pure than it was at the time. I mean, a lot of people got really, really discouraged with Halo 2 because of the double shot and the BXR and stuff like that. You can fix all of that now. You have the ability. If you're putting out an anniversary edition, you can fix all those glitches and make Halo 2 the game it was always meant to be. The way it was developed to be.
Right. And those changes aren't that hard to make in the code. It's just reordering the certain checks in the game. Did they ever fix that glitch with the rocket sword? Do you know?
I really have no idea if they did. I know that there were a lot of sword glitches in Halo 2 that allowed you to get out of the map, and that was one
especially
of the big
on Foundation.
Yeah, on burial grounds. I remember that was a big deal. If you could get out of the map in burial grounds with the sword glitch, you could walk around that entire area around the map, and then you could actually have your Spartan die, and then there's this massive Spartan. Just massive, huge, map-sized Spartan, show up in the map, dead for some reason. It was just cool as shit, but I'm just saying there were a lot of glitches in Halo 2 that they could fix now that would make the experience a whole lot better for people playing matchmaking, looking for a balanced gameplay experience.
Yep. And an interesting point you brought up earlier that I want to kind of bring up here is whether or not people would jump over to Halo 2 Anniversary and play that if the multiplayer experience was isolated like it should be, or do you think that people would kind of go back and forth between Halo 4 and Halo 2? I think with the recent flux of people over to Halo 3, we'd probably see a lot of people, at least a lot of the people that have been very familiar with Halo and that have been around with Halo since near the beginning, will probably make that jump to the Halo 2 side, with occasionally going back to Halo 4, and we'll see a lot of the more recent players stick to the Halo 4 stuff after playing Halo 2 Anniversary.
I'm just saying there's a reluctance by 343 to make a game that would take away from their own game. The game that they had made with their own creative juices. It was their own. Halo 4 is 343's exclusively. When they make Halo 2 again, basically they're just taking a game that was already made and they're rebuilding it. And they might feel bad about that, but what they don't realize is that's helping the Halo universe. That's helping the Halo community. Anytime you can make money basically off of, they don't even have to make the story, they don't have to make the art, any of it. They just have to make it high definition. They can go back, make all of that, make a whole bunch of money off it, and use that money towards Halo 5. That's what I'm saying, You kind of screw Halo 4 at this point. Halo 4 can go screw itself. If you want to make a new game with Halo 2 as basically the new standard for your multiplayer, at this point, before Halo 5 comes out.
So you can't really say it's a new standard, though, because it's already been out there, and you can technically play it with Xbox Live on the PC side, so games for Windows, there's Halo 2 Anniversary, and you could technically still do it over Xbox Connect and Xlink Kai, even though they're not officially supported, you can still do it. And so it's not really like setting the standard for the game engine, it's more kind of catering to the community, saying that, yes, we understand what you're doing. And if we think about it from a logistics standpoint, from the community versus Microsoft wanting to go out and make money, if you want to make money from this, then you really want to focus on what the community is going to go after and have the community build hype to go and get Halo 2 Anniversary. Because they're going to go back to everyone that says, "Here, this is what Halo should be. Come get this game." Whereas if they do it the whole Halo 4 route, there's going to be a lot of people that's like, "Oh, well, we already know the Halo 4 multiplayer experience is crap. Why are we going to buy this experience?"
Well, Rick Nasty 13 in our Twitch chat makes a good point. If Microsoft wanted to push Xbone to people, they would put Halo 2 Anniversary exclusively on Xbone. Of course, if you do that, here's an important point. If you do that, you have to make the game extremely, extremely good looking.
Yeah. And you would need a lot of engine improvements to that as well, because if you look at Halo 2 as it is, the engine in the game is only meant to output to standard definition. You have to rewrite the graphics engine. You have to redo all the textures to make those HD. You have to rework the netcode. You have to rework some of the other things in terms of updating game mechanics. And the game currently exists to be run on a slower system, unless we're talking about pulling the code from the Halo 2 Anniversary side, the Halo 2 Vista side, and that has had quite a bit of improvement from the Halo 2 on the console side. So and there's stuff even with Halo 2 Vista that you can definitely tell it wasn't a very good port from the Xbox to the PC. There's lots of little screen flickers and frame rate issues from the Halo 2 Anniversary side, and network lag in there as well. Even though the internet has gotten faster since then, there's a lot more stable hardware out there. But Halo 2 as core is still based off of that older architecture, so they would have to do a lot of rework on the engine as a whole, not just from a graphical standpoint, but also from updating a lot of the update code, a lot of the integration code with networking, and having all the different components talk to it, like the positioning data in there, and lots of other things just to talk about. So it's a big change in and of itself. And like you said, if they're going to push the Xbox One platform, they're going to want to make that in its own engine. Unless, of course, the whole rumors that they're going to port Halo 3 and Halo 4 over to the Xbox One platform. But that's still rumor, and we're not going to really talk about rumors too much. But all in all, yeah, if they want to push the Xbox One platform and they want to make Halo 2 Anniversary a successful title to kind of help rebound on some players' trust and a lot of the community's trust, then what they need to do is focus on reworking that Halo 2 engine and keeping all of the maps within that Halo 2 experience. Don't mess with the game mechanics in terms of the physics and the bullet spreads and how the guns work, how the vehicles work, and all that stuff. But just tweak the engine to kind of utilize the power of the Xbox One more efficiently. So I think that's what needs to be done for Halo 2 Anniversary. I think people have also mentioned, just like in passing, it's nothing really solid, but implementing the theater mode that was supposed to be in Halo 2 but wasn't there. And then someone somewhere mentioned Forge, but I don't think there needs to be Forge for Halo 2. I think they just need to focus on rebuilding that experience. And if they can do the whole theater mode thing, that would be cool. That'd be really cool. Halo 4 didn't have a campaign theater, which it could have had. Someone had the ability to go in and actually enable, so to speak, the theater mode for campaign. And so the functionality is definitely there. And if you saw some of the beta footage that they had for Halo 2, there was an option in there for theater. And it was just never got around. They never got around to actually implementing it. So maybe for one of the little extra features that you get is that you can pull up the theater for Halo 2 Anniversary. So that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. But Halo 2 always needed some sort of theater mode, and now they can totally do it. There's no reason not to.
They can, yep. So, what else can we talk about Halo 2 Anniversary? A lot of people some people don't want to see Halo 2 Anniversary because it's just kind of rehashing a game that's in the past, and they already know what has happened in the campaign, and if they want to go play the campaign, they can just go get a copy of Halo 2 for the Xbox for real cheap, and play it on their console, and then do LAN or Xbox Connect to play multiplayer. But I think it's a good incentive to kind of help bring back some of the nostalgia to it, bring it to the new console, get a lot more people involved with it, and get some of the newer generation of Halo players exposed to what Halo was really like, and kind of dive into that aspect of this is what Halo is, and this is what Halo should be. And at that point, too, I think you'll get a lot of people that are playing on Halo 3 right now moving over to the Xbox One, so there's a little more incentive to move over, a little more incentive in sales for the console and the software. So from a business perspective, it kind of makes sense to do Halo 2 Anniversary. And if they do it in terms of having the Halo 2 engine just kind of updated and leaving the multiplayer alone in terms of game mechanics and just doing a HD upgrade, network code update, and all that stuff, that would be, I think, probably the best option that they have for doing a Halo 2 Anniversary release.
My guess is that they're just doing the campaign and they're not worrying about the multiplayer at all. Like, for multiplayer, they're just worried about Halo 5. They're spending all of their multiplayer resources on Halo 5, which is fine, because that's the next Halo game, but I don't think we're going to see any sort of Halo multiplayer resources for Halo 2 Anniversary.
Well, let me put it this way. Technically, the Xbox One is running a Windows 8.1 kernel. You can install Halo 2 Vista on a Vista OS and up. So it's Windows Vista, Windows 7, and Windows 8. So you pretty much have a platform of Halo 2 already there. It's just now writing this to be executed on the Xbox One architecture and doing little tweaks there. And on top of that, just doing a skin upgrade, upgrading some of the net code, upgrading some of the graphics code, and at that point you're done. A lot of the elbow grease in there is going to be reworking the graphical engine, reworking the network engine, and then doing the graphics update, and then with a few minor tweaks in there. Another thing I think would be good to include in there would be online co-op. That'd be another thing that, we saw it happen with Halo CE Anniversary, so there's no reason why they wouldn't do it for Halo 2 Anniversary either. But do the online co-op for 2 players, and pretty much leave the multiplayer alone, except for doing all the necessary upgrades to make it more stable, more compatible with the current generation of consoles. And I think you have yourself a game. And of course, only sell it for a price point of about $40.
30.
I would buy it for 40.
I'm saying half the price of the current, game that is, made right now, which is $60. $30 is exactly the right price for a Halo game right now.
I'm going to stick with 40. I would pay with up to 40, but if a lot of people think 30 would be the right mix, we'll have to chalk that one up to the chat room, see what they think.
What about 35?
Well, like I said, I would pay up to 40. So
34?
What they choose what they choose to sell it at is kind of still up to them. I think no more than 40 would be good. Oh, and Rick Nasty put in there Halo 5 beta access. Well, if there's the Halo 5 beta access, it's going to sell.
No, for the full $60.
You're going to no. You would not do Halo 2 Anniversary at full $60 just to do the Halo 5 beta access.
Oh, I bet you would.
I would, but a lot of people I don't think would.
No, I bet most people would.
Well, because people still have their doubts about Halo 5 because of what 343 did with Halo 4. They have shown a lot of effort to kind of go back and really focus on the core of Halo, but there's still a lot of people out there, and I'm included, are still a little skeptical and a little cautious of what they're going to do with the next game. I think $40 with the included Halo 5 beta, because, it's not quite an apt comparison, but look at Halo 3 ODST. It's a $60 game, and you got a full campaign experience, full Halo 3 multiplayer experience, and Firefight, and access to the Reach beta.
Yeah, but they very much wanted to make that a $30 game.
Yeah, they did. And it would have had all the same stuff, too. I'm just saying, though, from a perspective of what we would get with the game, we would get a remake, hopefully, of both the multiplayer and the campaign with just a graphical update and a few stability things, and getting a Halo 5 beta access, I think $40 would be a perfect price point.
Oh yeah, I'm saying $40 would be the perfect price point, but they won't do it at $40. They'll do it at $60, or they'll do it at no money at all.
They did Halo 2 Anniversary at $40.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'll do it at $40, or they won't do it at all. They'll just give it to you as a free for gold exclusive or whatever.
Maybe.
To me, if they gave people Halo 2 Anniversary for free just for being a gold member, that'd be great with me, because that would mean more people in the Halo experience.
I don't think they'd do it for free, though.
No.
I seriously doubt they would do it for free. I think $40 is probably the price point they're going to go after. I'm almost certain that would be the price point they would look at. And we'll have to see. That's pretty much it for that point. So for Halo 2 Anniversary, yeah, this hopefully coming out in November. I mean, the whole rumor is November 9th, exactly 10 years after the release of Halo 2 on the Xbox platform. And we would be getting it on 2 generations later, which would be cool. Halo 1, we only got it 1 generation later, so Halo 2 is going to be a huge upgrade for those that only played it on the console and moving to the Xbox One. So that'd be cool. And I think that pretty much wraps up our Halo 2 Anniversary discussion. So it's still not officially announced in any capacity. This is just something that, from an interview with Steve Downs on Game Zone, that he said that we wouldn't be seeing a Halo 2 Anniversary release this year, with a Halo 5 release next year. So let's talk about the Halo 5 release for a little bit. I think that's personally a good move, and I've said this on the last couple of podcasts, where doing a 3-year life cycle for Halo it works. We've seen it work with Halo from the Bungie side of things, and I think that's what needs to be done for Halo, and it needs to keep on being done for Halo to ensure that we have a good quality game and a lot of time and effort put into the experience, especially after what happened with Halo 4. They need that extra time to kind of iron out a lot of the kinks and really get community feedback on what they want with Halo 5 and what they expect out of a Halo title.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, when I look back at Halo 2, that was supposed to be the experience that kind of defined Halo as a franchise. And even then, after they had all the time they had to develop Halo 2, they didn't really work on it that much.
Still, it's something that I think is important from the standpoint of a lot of people that have played past Halo games, that we really knock out a 3-year dev cycle and not do a 2-year cycle, not try to scrunch everything in, and definitely not it like what Call of Duty has done with kind of going back and forth between studios. And not to rag on people that play Call of Duty, and I understand Call of Duty's a different game and people like it out there, but if you look at the differences between Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, there are some differences, but when you boil it down, it's still kind of the same game. And Halo 3 has certain characteristics that kind of change from game to game, and there's been lots of improvements until we got to the Reach standpoint where things didn't quite go in the direction that people wanted it, and then Halo 4 just kind of blew everything out of the water. But we've seen things get added into the Halo life cycle from a 3-year life cycle. And not to say that there hasn't been changes in the Call of Duty games. There have been changes that have been implemented, and some of them are good changes for the franchise. But when you have that 3-year dev cycle, you're not crammed with a game every year or in every other year for studio. You have a lot more time to actually build and develop and really polish a game experience. And I think for Halo, it has a little bit better, or at least for the past Halo games, a little more polished game experience than the Call of Duty experiences have. But that's just my personal opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So you can send your hate mail to duststorm@podtacular.com.
Send it all there. Anytime you have hate mail for Podtacular, just send it to Duststorm immediately.
Yes, give me all the hate mail. So, but yeah, I still think we need a beta as well. That's something that's going to be happening, and it sounds like with the Halo 2 Anniversary, we're going to get a Halo 5 beta from the rumors that have come out, and yet again, they're rumors. But we need a beta of some kind. It needs to be not necessarily an open beta, but it needs to have, and like I've said before, it needs to have a public awareness that a beta is going on and have the ability for people that are participating in the beta, like they're doing with Titanfall right now, to stream and let people kind of get a feel for what Halo 5 is going to be, and let the community as a whole provide good quality feedback on what they're seeing, and then for those that are in the beta to actually give back their own feedback and kind of digest or ingest all of that data and really polish a product that they know people are going to love and play.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the extent of the Halo 2 anniversary news and the Halo 5 news that we had for today. I'm sure we'll be getting a lot more information in the coming months and probably something at E3 this year for Halo 2 anniversary. I bet we'll see something big for that. But that kind of leaves us up for this week's Halo Bulletin. So hit the big stuff, now we're hitting the small stuff.
Woo!
For now. Yeah! So Bulletin update for this week, we have matchmaking playlist update. Heavies is going bye-bye, which is sad. Been having a lot of fun playing Heavies. I think I've actually played the most Halo matchmaking in these last 2 weeks than I have in the past, few months, because it's Heavies and Heavies is fun. And looking at the numbers that were actually in the playlist over the last 2 weeks, most of the time the Heavies playlist was getting more people in that playlist than the Big Team Battle playlist. Kind of says something of maybe we need to have this playlist in there as a permanent playlist. Don't you think, Brent? I think that's a good assessment.
Yeah, I mean, people love the large vehicles, the extreme explosions, all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, it's chaos in a lot of different regards, but it's very, very fun. And there are so many vehicles where the whole plasma pistol thing is almost not even considered, because you have a lot of people going in, trading in their secondary weapon, which is, in some cases, the plasma pistol, and getting snipers, rocket launchers, rail guns, incineration cannons, concussion rifles, all those different heavy weapons that are on the map. And it's a lot more fun. It's a part of Halo that doesn't really get to be explored in Halo 4. There's not really any maps that I can think of in the normal matchmaking system that utilizes the Wraith or the tank, or the Scorpion tank. Except for one game type on Longbow, I think it's Capture the Flag. Big Team Capture the Flag. But other than that, we really don't see either of those two vehicles utilized that much in the game. We see the Banshee, we see the Mantis, but we don't see those other two heavy hitters used that much in Halo 4, and it's nice to have a playlist that actually allows people to go in and play with those vehicles, let alone get those commendations for those vehicles as well.
Yeah.
As far as what needs to happen with matchmaking, kind of want that playlist to stay in, but alas, this coming Monday we're going to see it go bye-bye, unfortunately. It's had its 2 weeks. It's had its time. Hopefully we'll see it back. Hopefully the community feedback and just the numbers themselves will be enough for 343 to say, oh, maybe we should keep this in matchmaking. Maybe rotating out another playlist that's not high up in numbers. Because I can guarantee you, there are a lot of playlists that only have max of 150, 200 players in it on a normal basis. Team Throwdown, for example. So, I mean, Xnay one of the other playlists that aren't played as much, and put that playlist back in there. I think that's kind of what needs to happen. So, moving on though, we will get the upcoming update to be Big Rumble. So this is free-for-all Rumble. It's going to be 12 players on a map. And we have game types such as Infinity Slayer, Slayer Pro, Regicide, King of the Hill, Oddball, Quick Draw, on a lot of bigger maps that we're going to be playing on. And the community poll for last week was 3 different game types. Quick Draw, which was pistols, Sticky Ball, which was sticky detonators and sticky grenades, and then Fiesta Slayer. And Quick Draw was the one that won, much to our chagrin over here. I think, personally, Fiesta Slayer would have been a lot more fun, although I will probably not be in the big Rumble playlist that much over the next 2 weeks. It's a cool idea, but in terms of other kind of game types or other playlists that they could have in the game, this one just doesn't seem as appealing. to me from a personal perspective. I mean, what about you, Brent? Do you think that?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care. I love both BTB and free for all style playing of Halo, but I really enjoyed BTB. Seeing heavies go in favor of some sort of BTB rumble is kind of messed up.
Well, it's not even BTB. It's not team. It's free for all.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's big team battle, but it's just 12 people versus everybody.
Yeah. It's an interesting idea to have as a playlist, but I think this is probably going to be one of those playlists that not a lot of people are going to get into that much, personally. We'll see what happens with the numbers. Maybe it'll be a big hit like Heavies was, but as far as kind of how some of the other playlists have gone in the past, this one doesn't seem quite as... I can't think of the word to use, but it doesn't seem to have much impact on how people are going to play this versus some of the other playlists that are already out there, like Capture the Flag and Regicide. So, I don't know. I may play it once or twice, but I'm not looking to go out and specifically play this playlist for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, who's banning who? What?
I have no idea. Like
some randomness going in the Twitch stream with bathrooms and banning.
You have banned Blue Am Cat from talking in Podtacular's room for 600 seconds. So I have no idea.
Why did you do that? You didn't. I actually
didn't do
that,
it.
Did you?
Like I didn't do it at all. I have no idea how it happened.
Oh boy. Well, hopefully she's has voice still. That'd be weird. Okay. Moving on. After that little mishap, we have the Halo Eve Valentine stuff that they mentioned last week that they were doing a little contest on, and decided to come out and reveal some of their favorites. Some of these we've kind of seen before in terms of the phrases that are actually used in there. And Brent, do you want to kind of cover this for us this week?
You can if you want to.
Oh, come on. You don't get nearly enough airtime. I'm usually the one that reads everything.
I don't get any airtime, like at all, but I'm saying you have the airtime. It's yours. Do it.
No, you do it.
You do it.
Fine. First one we have here is I'm Lost Without You, and there's a little radar with all the red dots making up a heart on there. So, next one. Baby, you light up my sword like nobody else. It's an okay one. It's not like anything substantial in my opinion, but it's okay. If I was a plasma grenade, I'd be stuck on you. That's kind of a classic for Halo. It's an image of a grunt with 2 sticky grenades, the whole suicide grunts from Halo 3, which it'd be interesting if they keep that around for the next Halo games. It was kind of more of a funny thing in Halo 3, but it was really, really fun to just see them like run at you and be like, oh crap, suicide grenade. And then whenever they actually blow up and they do kill you, it's more funny than frustrating, actually. Or at least for me. Next one is I hope we stick together forever. Seems pretty self-explanatory. This next one's pretty cool. Just in terms of the picture. We've seen this text before, and it's from one of the PMS ladies, and I think we've seen this in other websites as well. But it's the day I met you. It was a match made in Halo, so yeah, go figure. We've seen that one before, but the picture's actually pretty cool. It's a wedding cake with Master Chief and basically a cat Spartan with pink armor instead of the blue. Next one is I composed this song for you, and it has an image of a Promethean knight and a watcher holding up basically what looks like a touchpad, and it's supposed to be or no, it's actually his hand. Never mind. I had to take a second look at that. But so yeah, there's that one. Next one is are you a tank? 'Cause you're blowing me away. That one's kind of cool. The Photoshop on this one is really well done. My personal best pick in terms of the image that actually goes with some of the cards that they made. And then the last one here is, did you shoot me with a plasma pistol? Because I was stunned when I saw you. And that was one that 343 made. And I actually I don't think I've heard that one before. Maybe you have, Brent, but it's a pretty cool one, I think. But yeah, so those are the more on the cards. If you want to go over and actually look at them, check out this week's Halo Bulletin. They're all there. And there's probably some other ones that Halo Waypoint retweeted during the week, or they'll probably tweet some out during Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow as of this recording. So you're probably hearing this after Valentine's Day, so check the Halo Waypoint Twitter. They have probably tweeted some of them out. And then to wrap up the bulletin before the screenshots, they have a Gamers for Giving recap. So this last weekend, there was the Gamers for Giving charity, which is a charity that raises money to support troops and children in hospitals by creating these game carts that they can ship out Xboxes to. And they did manage to reach their goal of, I believe it was $22,000 raised for their efforts. So they were able to do that over the weekend. And they had a Halo 4 tournament going on during the whole event as well. And there were a lot of people that follow those competitive players would know. And a lot of them actually got beat out pretty early. I don't think we saw really any big name pro players out in the winning team, but the team that did win went by the name of VWS Cryptic, and they were composed of 4 teammates: Sargoth, which I was able to meet at the Halo Fan for Life LAN last year. He's a pretty cool guy. Tragic, Wintour, oh, that's how you say it, Wintour, and SV Spectre. So the only name I personally recognize is Sargoth in there. Maybe Tragic, and the other two I'm not exactly sure. I've heard of them before. One of them only started playing competitively recently, and the other one that I don't know of has been playing for a while, but I haven't heard the name.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not huge into the competitive scene, so I don't know all the names that are out there, and there are definitely some smaller ones. But as far as the team that won, they got $1,000 to split between themselves, so basically $250 apiece. And if you want some more stuff or information about them and their experience at the tournament and their strategies behind some of the games, then check out the bulletin. There's a short interview up there between Bravo and the winners, so check it out. And last but not least, of course, as we always do with the bulletin, the screenshots. So we've already... Yeah!
I love screenshots. They're my favorite part of the entire episode.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah. The screenshots are my favorite part. Every time.
So that's why you and Jess get along so well. So, of course, this week's theme is love or Valentine's or whatever you want to consider it. And it's full of purple and red and all the good heartsy looking things. My personal favorites are Roses Are Red by Gothic Lucy. Digital Cannon, just kind of the pretty pink effects in there. And then kind of a third place would be Red and Blue in Love by Cuboidal Spore 52. So, but my favorite would definitely be Roses Are Red. It's very well done. They made a tree out of weapons.
That's kind of weird. That's why I don't like it. I like Two Ghosts.
Weapons and geometry pieces.
Ubix.
Oh, Obex?
Yeah. It's the best because the ghosts are touching each other inappropriately in front of a heart.
They're doing it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
Oh boy, someone brought up the Halo dating sim for you in the chat, Brent. Don't you feel special?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I love the entire idea of a Halo dating sim, but really Lasky and Palmer are made for each other. If Lasky and Palmer don't end up together at the end of the next Halo trilogy, I'm going to be extremely sad.
Aww. Why would you be sad?
Because Lasky and Palmer are made for each other.
Oh boy. So we'll see what happens. I doubt, personally, I doubt we'll see something. It'd be cool if we did, but, maybe. But yeah, so those are the screenshots. If you want to check them out, of course, go over to this week's Halo Bulletin. Take a look at what's over there. And that pretty much wraps up our show for tonight, guys. Hitting right around the hour mark, which is pretty good. Becoming a little more succinct in our news reporting. We have the Halo 2 anniversary confirmation from Steve Downes for this week. It's not an official announcement. It's just a confirmation. So there's more information to be had about the Halo 2 anniversary and all the stuff behind whether or not we're going to get a beta for Halo 5, all the rumors that were detailed out a couple weeks ago, if any of the rest of those are true. But as far as we're concerned, the likeliness of Halo 2 Anniversary being something that is happening is pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, I don't think Steve Downes would just lie for some sort of publicity. I mean, he said that for a reason, so yeah. We're getting H2 Anniversary, for sure.
Yep. And hopefully a Halo 5 beta. Hopefully. With that, I think that wraps up our coverage for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We had the big news, of course, of Halo 2 Anniversary. And we have some Halo Bulletin news. It's sad to see heavies go, but alas, they've had their 2-week opportunity. Hopefully we'll see them back in matchmaking. I don't see any reason why Halo 8 wouldn't put it in matchmaking with how well it was received. So, Jess, if you're listening, which I know sometimes you do, make it happen. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and do our final notes for the podcast. For those of you that are still on Halo 4 playing regularly and are interested in playing in a somewhat competitive league, there's always Griffball, but there's also Ricochet. So for those that are interested, check out ricochetHub.com. We are putting together the final pieces of our first winter league to have kind of a competitive style play for Ricochet in Halo. So definitely check it out. We have some of the staff from Griffball Hub over there, and Griffball Hub's been running solid for 5 years, so there's been some good developments over there, and we have people from BTB Net, some people that have played competitively in MLG, so we're really kind of gearing towards a competitive game for Ricochet. So if you're into wanting to look into a league that is not quite Griffball, but it's more actual Halo that requires shooting and stuff, then check out Ricochet Hub and get signed up over there, get involved with some of our game nights as we start to enter this winter season. Get yourself on a team, get yourself some practice in on matchmaking, and get ready to play some fun Ricochet. So definitely check it out. It's ricochetHub.com. Also, I'm continuing to work on the Halo Mole project with Jack Fire, and we are finalizing our music stuff, and we're still in the middle of production for getting everything recorded and getting everything mashed together. So if you want to stay up to date on that, make sure you check out thehalomole.com. That's where we're doing all of our stuff with that project. And we are expecting it to be a big hit. We hope everyone likes it. It's a very interesting idea for something that's not quite machinima, but it's kind of like a Halo reality TV show mixed with machinima. So we hope everyone will enjoy it. Not something that has quite been done before, but definitely check it out. Also, if you are a follower or a longtime follower of Halo, then you probably remember the guys from This Spartan Life. They're bringing back the series. They've been kind of in a hiatus for a little while. I think the last video they had was actually of me whenever I was visiting Chris 2 years ago. But they have been able to sign a contract with 343 and start making videos again, and they're going to be selling DVDs of old episodes and selling merchandise and all that stuff. So This Spartan Life, if you were a part of them in the past and you want to get kind of back into that scene and helping out with being a stand-in for a video or kind of getting involved with that community again, then definitely head back on over to thisspartanlife.com. The forums are coming back to life and all that good stuff. So check him out. Chris is a really good, cool dude, has a really cool idea with This Spartan Life, and has a lot of cool guests lined up as well. So check that out. It's going to be really, really fun. And another website I want to kind of cover, who's been in the chat for the last couple of episodes, but has been kind of a growing source for a lot of people's Halo and Destiny news, is HD Dispatch, which stands for Halo and Destiny Dispatch. They're over at hddispatch.com, and they've been putting together a lot of interesting articles, trying to rope together all the news about Destiny and Halo that have been coming out so far. So they're doing a pretty good job of getting a lot of the news covered over there, so definitely check them out. Pretty cool website, pretty well laid out. I personally like it and kind of visit there every once in a while to catch up on news before doing podcasts, so definitely check that out. I think, let's see, I think that's all I wanted to cover before going out. Anything you want to cover, Brent, before we say our final goodbyes?
Nope.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to episode 409 of Podtacular. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and hopefully the Halo 5 or the Halo 2 anniversary information hasn't blown your mind too much. If you get involved with the Titanfall beta, definitely try it out. It's a lot of fun. And until then, what should we frag this week?
Keep on fragging Steve Downs because he deserves it.
Keep on fragging the Blind Skull.
Keep on fragging Steve Downs because he leaked the Halo 2 anniversary information. It's all his fault.
Well,
Steve Downs
he
is
didn't leak it. He confirmed it.
I mean, yeah, but that was a leak. If it's not official in E3 or whenever, it's a leak. So, hey, Steve Downs is officially the biggest leaker in American history. Snowden, all of those, they don't matter. Steve Downs is the biggest leaker ever.
Oh boy. So, well, that's it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye.
See you.